Have you ever thought about saying "how do you do, neighbor" to somebody any day? Don't matter when, doesn't matter how, but as you know, sometimes it's nice to say hello to someone. I said hello. Hello everybody, this is That Manga Dude, and welcome to another FVI. This is the series where I talk about a multitude of volume ones, or one-shots, and I give my more broad opinions. My opinions on the story, my opinions on the art, a little bit more than my typical reading logs. And yes, today, we've got some really good manga coming up. I mean, this whole month was crazy in terms of just the amount of volume ones that were coming out. I feel like I say that every single month, but that's because it's true. There's just too much to keep track of, but wow. I picked out 4 that I really enjoyed, and I am very excited to talk about them. So let's get started right now. Okay, so the first volume I'm going to be talking about is originally releasing in May of 2023 in Comic New Type / Karakawa. That is going to be Jiu Masui's Monster Tribe Volume 1. Yes, let's talk about who worked on this really quick. We have ourselves translation from Sheldon Adurska and lettering from Greg Deng. Now, to talk about this cover and spine, yeah, it's a pretty cool cover. I love the orange and red for this background here. I like the Monster Tribe. I think it's a really cool design for the title. And yeah, it has the character in a white background, so that could be a little bit better, but yeah, it's meh on the back. It's just a white back, and then typical normal spine, so yeah, overall it's okay. I mean, I think it gets the job done. Not my favorite, but still pretty solid. Now, let's talk about this story. We have ourselves Ten, who is the main character. He wants a normal life, but his family is anything but, since he's half human in a family full of monsters. What's a boy to do when he's tasked to defeat monsters from entering the human world, all while trying to become closer to his siblings? So this story is very high octane. It really does feel like all gas, no brakes. I mean, there are little quiet moments here and there, but for the most part, this is, yeah, just very fast-paced. Some of the characters are not my favorite in the world, but there are, entertaining together. I think they bounce off of each other pretty well. We do have like the kind of angsty, broody brother, and then we have like kind of like the adult or the more adult one, and like kind of like the skeevy whatever. It's like, I don't know. It very much lies into some various stereotypes that you would expect from like a sibling or like a family, whatever. But overall, I think the story is pretty fun. It's entertaining, it'll keep you laughing, and you're going to like the action as well. And that kind of leads into what I was going to talk about with the art. The art is actually really good. I think the action scenes are really solid. There's some great double panels, or like some great double page spreads that we have here, or at least like 1.5 page spreads. A lot of great posing, a lot of great action across the board. Monster designs are solid as well. So overall, it's a pretty fun read. I enjoy it. I'm not going to say it's like the most amazing thing in the world, but it is a lot of fun. I cannot deny that. I had a great time reading this first volume. I got a couple of chuckles, a couple of laughs, a couple of oohs and ahs to like the action and art. And yeah, we'll see how the story progresses as we move throughout the next volume. Alright, so this next volume is a one-shot, or it's a one-volume series, and it originally released in May of 2013 in Manga Erotics F, and that is going to be Sneggerka of the Spring Breeze from Hiroaki Samura. Let's talk about who worked on this really quick. We have translation from James Balzer, we have lettering from Mercedes McGarry, editing is by Daniel Joseph, production from Risa Cho and Payan Yep, and proofreading by Justin Maki or Mackie. Now, let's talk about the spine and cover. This is gorgeous. I love this so much. It is beautiful. Looks like it's like painted or hand painted. It probably is, to be completely honest, but it looks really gorgeous. I love that it takes advantage of it being sideways. I think that's really cool. It makes it more of like a painting versus like a cover, which I think is really flipping cool. And I kind of love that it cuts off on the back. I think that's pretty interesting as a design choice. So yeah, this looks really good. Going into the story, so we have our two characters here on the front. We have ourselves Bielka and Shinok, I believe is how you pronounce their names, are two very mysterious characters who have come to stay at a dacha, or dacha, I believe it's a dacha, but I could be a dacha. That is a vacation home in Russian. They appear to have ulterior motives for wanting to stay there, and their story unfolds as we learn more about who they are and the lives around them in the fantastically told story in the Soviet Union during the 1930s. So yes, this is a historical fiction, and it is a lot of fun. It's intense. Even if there's not a lot of action per se, there's a lot of moments that are just like, will keep you will keep you like stunned, silenced, and just a lot of really great moments. I'm not going to be able to flip through it for a variety of reasons. I'll talk about that during the art. But let's just say it's a great political thriller. I think it's a lot of fun and really well thought out, really well designed, very smart. It moves really easily. I think like reading it is very breezy, even if it is very intense topics and just kind of like the ideas and everything that's going on. This is going to be featuring a lot of like war things, so if you're easily triggered by that, you should probably look up the rest of the trigger warnings to this as well, because there are some pretty intense scenes that happen throughout the story. But overall, I thought this was a really well developed story, really cool, and kind of what I would expect from Hiroaki Samura. It definitely feels very well researched. It definitely feels like the characters fit in to the 1930s Soviet Union landscape, and it's really great. Going into the art, I love Samura's art, so this is part bias, but genuinely, this is a very gorgeous manga. I mean, I'm going to flip through just a couple of the pages, but fantastic shading, as you would expect, some great character designs, really good paneling, some beautiful backgrounds. I mean, like, absolutely gorgeous backgrounds. I'm just going to show you some of the facial expressions. They look great. They feel so real, but also feel like they're still within, like, a comic style, which I think is really cool. And just overall, it's really great. I mean, I even like the kind of like the lighter, quieter moments, like these trees here just look so gorgeous. I don't know, there's something about it that really draws my eye to it and makes it so easy to read, even if it's tackling such dark scenery and dark times within the Soviet Union. But overall, I thought this was fantastic. I think this might be one of my favorite reads of the year. We'll see as we continue on, but yeah, genuinely great stuff coming out of Kodansha. Okay, so our third volume, originally released in the Lead Publishing's Comic Iran back in October 2020, that is going to be Neighborhood Craftsman, Story from Kanda's Gokura Chou by Akihito Sakaue. And yeah, let's talk about who worked on this really quick. We have translation from Ko Ransom and lettering from Abigail Blackman. And let's talk about this cover and spine. It is beautiful. Look at the colors, look at the design. I love that it like flips from front to back cover as well as the spine. It all connects. It's this really gorgeous illustration that just looks so good. I mean, it's hard to tell in this lighting, but if you see this in person, it's as beautiful as you would expect it to be. Just a really great cover, and it's hardcover, so that's really nice as well. Let's talk about this story. So the story, as the title suggests, it focuses on the story of various craftsmen in Kanda's Gokura Chou, from a cooper to a swordsmith to various other craftsmen. I like that each of the stories are intertwined loosely, not necessarily that they're connected with one another. Their only true connection is that they all work in like the same area. But all of their stories are independent and different depending on what they're doing. And I really enjoy this in terms of like a storytelling standpoint, because some of the stories are longer than others, some of them are shorter, but I think I really enjoy just how well thought out and well researched the story is. You can tell they put in a lot of time in making sure that these characters have like their own life, but also show and tell about the variety of things that go into their craft. And I just think it's really well done from start to finish, especially with this first volume. I'm really excited to check out that second volume. And the art, once again, also leads into that. There is some just absolutely gorgeous designs. You could tell that like the artist really focused on understanding and just knowing the human body. I think you could tell that a lot of like the designs. Look at this absolutely beautiful work here. This is so gorgeous. I mean, there's not a lot of like dialogue in some of these chapters, but like you could feel the emotion that the characters are feeling. I'm not going to flip through too much for this chapter because this chapter has a lot of moments. That would be spoilery, especially if you want to read it. But yes, you could really tell that they focused heavily on showing how the characters craft, how they create, and I think that's just really cool. I think it's really well done. A lot of great moments as well, a lot of great action, even if it's not a very action-oriented series. Like I said, some really great characters. Just, wow. I don't know. This was another really good read. Wow, July was full of fantastic reads, but this one was really cool. If you're looking for kind of like a look into history and more of like a slice of life kind of moment, I think you'll really enjoy this. Even if you don't, I think this is well worth a read. Just to see this absolutely gorgeous art, great posing just across the board, and I would highly suggest this to just about anybody. Coming into our final volume, this originally released in 2019, and I could not find any information about as to where. I believe it was published online or published by the artists themselves, but that is going to be Chiaki Yagura's alternative Selfliner Note. Yes, from a new publisher, Manga Mavericks Books. Really cool that we have a new publisher coming around. I really love talking about new publishers because I think it's a lot of fun and really great to see when new publishers come out and what their first kind of works are going to be. So yes, let's talk about who worked on this really quick. We have translation from Michael Joko. We have lettering from Victoria Esnard, editing by Mickey Davis and Joshua Martin Corrales, and quality assurance from Siddharth Gupta and Colton Solemn. Yeah, let's talk about this cover and spine. Yeah, this cover is really cool. I don't know. I like the simplicity of it. I think it's really nice, and it really pops with that orange, kind of like goldenrod color that is with the background. And I love that it like also flows from the front to the back cover. I think that's really neat. It definitely feels like a CD cover, which I think is really cool. And yeah, I think it's just like very well designed. It's very smart. Alright, coming into the story. So, this story is very short, if you couldn't tell. It is about 30-something pages, if I remember correctly. But there's a lot to glean from this story. So, Ryo-sensei, she is the main character here. She's the lead guitarist of a band, and she's struggling with just about everything in her life, but specifically with the idea of what she will leave behind in the world. This short story follows her throughout the going through the motions of life while trying to find her own voice in this world. And I think this story is extremely well done. I mean, I've been saying that all throughout this video, but I think specifically with this one, you could definitely feel like the artist has also struggled with the same kind of struggles that this character is struggling with, or at least knows the feeling of that kind of, or like knows people who know this feeling, because yeah, the character really goes through just kind of like a quite the evolutionary moment, especially throughout like the first couple of pages, and we get to watch her kind of like try to figure out what she wants to do. What is she doing? Why is she stuck where she is? Like, and how is she gonna get past that? And I don't know, it's just really well done. It flows really easily. The story is like I said, it's nice and short, but it warrants a reread. I think it's interesting to be able to reread this and watch the character kind of grow every time you read through it. I've already read it twice. I've really enjoyed it. I think it hits home for me being a creative, because I just love creating art, whether it's by making these kinds of videos or by actually drawing and illustrating. So I totally understand getting artist block and like trying to kind of going through an existential crisis, like what am I doing? Like, why can't I be able to create what I want to create or what people want to create, and kind of like bouncing between that as well. So I think it's really well done. Coming into the art, I love it. I think it's a simple yet effective style. I love the characters. It definitely reminds me of like kind of looking through a sketchbook, but definitely well thought out, well done just across the board. The designs are really strong. You can tell there's a lot of focus on making sure that the instrument looks right throughout the volume. I really love the use of shadows, and shading is done really well. Overall, I just think it's really cool. I think there's a really great there's a really solid double spread that are towards the end of the volume, but they are spoilers for the story. But let me just say, they are gorgeous. I think they look fantastic. So unfortunately I can't show you it, but if you decide to read it, you will know and you'll see it and you'll be like, he was right. That was really flippin' cool. So yeah, overall I think this is a great read. I think it's well worth the pickup. Yeah, it is a small volume, but I think it's one of those ones where you can read it, you can reread it, you can give it to friends, and I think a variety of different people are going to enjoy it. Okay, now here comes the part that at the end of the video where I talk about all of them together and I get to rank them by how much I love them. So, I think the obvious fourth place is going to be Monster Tribe. I think it's the only one, personally, that I wasn't super connected with. I thought it was good, but it wasn't great, I think is the best way to put it. Now, when it comes to these three, this is the hard part because I think they're all amazing in different ways, in completely different ways. I think personally, I think I'm gonna keep it here at this list. So I'm gonna put Neighborhood Craftsman at number 3, Alternative Selfliner Note at number 2, and Sneggerka of the Spring Breeze at number 1. It is so close between these three, to be completely honest. I think Alternative just beats out Neighborhood Craftsman because it hits on a personal level for me. So I do have a slight bias towards that, and I think it's just I don't know. It's one of those stories that really hits home for me personally. So I really enjoyed it, and it's definitely deserving of number 2. And Sneggerka of the Spring Breeze is, wow. This is what a piece of fiction that is. Really well done. So yeah, that's going to be my ranking of these 4 manga. Have you read any of these 4 before, or do you know about these 4? Are you interested in reading in any of them? Let me know in the comments below. And you know what to do. You can like, you can comment, you can subscribe. Those are all amazing things, and I really appreciate it when you show your support to my channel. It's awesome. You all are amazing, and I can't thank you guys enough for making it so much fun to make these videos. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.